Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, April 29th, 2024. I'm sure almost everybody on the planet at this point has heard something about the U.S. signing a bill into law, the U.S. president signing a bill into law that could ban TikTok in 9 months. So basically by the end of the year, unless the company is divested, or I guess the app is divested from the parent company ByteDance. Now, I don't know how realistic that ban actually is. I'm sure there are any number of ways that law can either be circumvented or ruled unconstitutional. But in either event, I don't know whether I'm going to be on the platform within the next 9 days, forget the next 9 months. So at the suggestion of Mr. Ant Pruitt, friend of the show, he had said to me, your short shows would probably do well on TikTok. You could create, because that's short form content. And the fives are, of course, 5 minutes. And he had actually suggested trying to bring them down to a minute. And I just knew that wasn't going to happen. But I did agree with him. I thought, okay, maybe there is some room for traction here. And on my art stuff, I thought, the time lapses, I can speed the time lapses up to be very short, so that would be easy. And I started creating them. I created 2 accounts, one for the show, one for my art stuff. And I started putting stuff up there. I wasn't getting a lot of numbers, but I've only been on there for maybe 3 weeks tops, so I wasn't expecting all that much. And then on the day the bill was signed, and I'm not saying there's any correlation here, it's just kind of funny. On the day the bill was signed, I suddenly couldn't get into either of the TikTok accounts anymore. Now, I'd had login issues the whole time I'd be using the platform. It would randomly say, you've tried to log in too many times, even if it was the first time I was trying within 24 hours. And I went, okay, well, maybe this is something silly. But then I got a second message that said, your account was currently suspended, which is a delightful little translation error. But I thought, I didn't get any notices. I didn't get any emails or anything saying I'd violated any terms of service. I couldn't think of any way that my account would actually have been suspended. Certainly not both of them at the same time on the same day. But I thought, okay, well, I'll just try it again tomorrow. So I tried it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And within 5 days of trying it, I finally got to a point where I thought, you know what? I don't know that I care enough about using this application, or this platform, I guess I should say, to keep using it. Honestly, I think TikTok is aimed for people younger than me. I mean, I had a template. It was working. It wasn't really much of an effort, but the thing has been janky from the jump. The login problems, the suspension thing wasn't there initially, but the thing was so miserable to use. You can only schedule things 10 days in advance for no good reason that I can find. You just can't schedule it more than 10 days in advance, which is, I guess, great for people who create things on the fly and can work that way, but that's not how I work. You can't edit things once they're uploaded, assuming they even upload. I realized at one point that my ratio of success with TikTok was about 50%. Any particular function would fail about half the time. Uploading, posting, you can't edit, or at least I couldn't find any way to edit something that's up there. You just have to delete and start again. And logging in, half the time, error, do it again. And bizarre login errors where it would sometimes give me the CAPTCHA challenge, which in TikTok's case, at least for me, has always been this sliding cylindrical image puzzle where you have to line the 2 parts up. That would always work, but sometimes it would fail before that. Sometimes it would fail after that. It would say the login had failed, and then suddenly the page would refresh and I was logged in. It just never felt like a website that was particularly well made. And I don't know if that's because... I don't know. I don't know why that is. I looked around a little bit and I found similar complaints. Nobody seemed to have any theory as to why. But now with the ban and the fact that I can't get into it, I don't know that I care enough to keep going on it. I mean, if it suddenly starts working again, maybe I'll start posting things on there. But as a lot of people have pointed out, just the threat of a ban is probably going to drive a lot of people off the platform. So I don't know that there's really much of a future in it. But even if there is, even if somehow the ban gets thrown out next week and I say, no, you can't ban it, whatever, which could happen. I wouldn't actually be all that surprised. I just don't know that TikTok is really for me. I almost feel like some sentient, the AGI that AI people are so in love with this concept. Maybe there is some puppet master AI that has been birthed within the sea of information, Ghost in the Shell style, that lives down there. And maybe it identifies people like me and says, you know what? This is not really the place for you. This is a place for people younger than you. Stay with making really bad audio recordings and putting them out the way you've been doing for years. You seem better, in air quotes, at doing that than this. So maybe just stay out of here. Or maybe TikTok is doing something to new accounts. Maybe it thinks there's some kind of relational new account creation to the ban passing. I don't know. But like I said, I barely use TikTok. I wasn't all that happy when I was able to use it. So maybe all this stuff is for the best. Later.